for me, just thinking that I could never be good enough, successful enough, skinny enough, whatever. It's never enoughness that. And then to go from that and literally pivot 180 degrees and say, I'm I'm fine just the way I was created, perfect.
What's going on, y'all? It's your favorite podcast, your boys from Built by the Red Stick, Ronnie LeDuff, brushing himself off.
It's
Michael Oakley. We're back with the Get to Know Our Sponsors series. We had Mr. Chris Flanagan last week. From Victory. Shout out Victory.
Shout out. It's the small victories that count.
It is the small victories that count. Ding! Listen, before we go into our sponsors reel and everything.
I want to fuss.
You can't fuss yet.
No, we got to fuss. You're right. We're going to wait. We're going to wait.
Don't forget to support us. We got the Hope and Hustle Fest coming to y'all soon.
March 28, 2026.
We're excited about that.
Location confirmed. Entertainment confirmed. The kid stuff confirmed.
We've got sponsors coming on board. Don't be too late. Don't be too late. You want to have your name associated with the Hope and Hustle Fest because it is bringing joy to the East Baton Rouge community.
I feel like this light makes me look like something right now.
Go ahead. Look good.
Do your thing.
But we're going to have a quick word from our sponsors, and then we'll be right back with the introduction.
Addiction and mental health don't discriminate. They touch families, friends, and loved ones from every walk of life. For many, it feels like crisis. But it doesn't have to end there. At Victory Addiction Recovery Center, our mission is simple: to save lives and improve the lives we touch. For over 13 years, we've walked with more than 5,000 people on their journey to recovery, meeting them where they are and building a plan that fits their unique needs. Here, recovery is more than treatment. It's compassion, honesty, and perseverance lived out by a team that's both professionally trained and personally passionate. With programs that span medical detox, residential treatment, outpatient care, and specialized support for veterans and professionals, Victory provides the tools, structure, and community that empower lasting change. Victory is more than a center, it's a family. From alumni services to weekly family support groups to ongoing education in our community, the care doesn't stop when treatment ends. The connections built here ripple outward, healing individuals, families, and communities. No matter where you are on your journey, you don't have to face it alone. Victory Addiction Recovery Center is here, ready to help you take the first step toward healing and a healthier future. Because recovery is possible, and it starts with you.
And just like that, we're back.
I'm still looking at myself.
We're back. He's back. He's looking at himself.
And I'm sure all 36 of y'all can see us. Dude, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? What is up? All right? We need y'all support, okay? Yes, I'm talking to you. You right there that just skipped past this video. Come back, because this has got to stop. I just put my foot down.
Well, we're not going to yell at the 36 viewers. We're going to yell at them for they need a share.
We motivating them, but we yelling at the people that hadn't been watching.
It's okay. We're tracking.
It's not even Christmas yet. I expect y'all to throw us to the side for Christmas and Thanksgiving.
We've got a good one.
We got a great one today.
Medical.
Experience. Athlete.
Story.
D1 athlete.
Can't repeat.
I can.
You can't repeat.
Because I had to specify what kind of athlete.
All right.
Intramural.
For the best hype man in the country, I'm going to alley-oop it to Mr. Ronnie LeDuff.
I don't even think they deserve it no more. I'm telling you, I'm upset. I'm in my feelings.
He's in his feelings.
So I'm going to let Miss Julie introduce herself. They don't even deserve the alley-oop no more. So, Miss Julie, won't you let our beautiful audience know, who are you?
My name is Julie St. Martin. I am the Director of Nursing at Victory Addiction Recovery Center.
Big D-O-N.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Yeah, I've been there for 5 years. Most of the people that I work with, I've worked with probably through the last 10, 15 years.
So they like family now.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
The whole place is like family.
Yeah.
It's got a great culture. It really does. I think that that's probably why I love it so much,
Yeah.
is because there's a deep-seated culture there that just offers a lot of dignity and respect, and it just to be an oasis in the middle of such darkness, and a place that's safe to come and treated with respect. It's,
Yeah.
And that makes, we're going to get into you and how you found your way into this industry, but just to highlight Victory and other facilities, that's what makes, for me, that's what makes a good facility.
Yep.
Because clinical services are clinical services.
correct.
There's some bad, there's some good, but for the most part, if you're practicing ethical clinical services, you're going to get it if you go place A, place B. But a culture and building a culture and a healthy culture inside of a facility. I always tell people that, like, especially and with your experience, you'll probably recognize this, but within a facility, there's always like two different sides, right? You have your clinical side who would probably treat everybody for free and just wants to do it. And then you have your administration side who is worried about keeping the lights on. But when those two entities merge together, that's what creates beautiful culture and beautiful treatment facility. And from my talk with Chris and, just your brief introduction here, that's what it seems like's got going on at Victory.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Chris said he responsible for everything now. He started everything. I got you, Chris. I'm giving you your flowers.
He didn't say that. He didn't say that. Don't put through my man under the bus.
He's a great guy.
No, he is. He is
Awesome.
So, director of nursing.
Whew, I wouldn't want your job. I'm sorry. I've seen what they go through. I don't think they get enough credit. What the DON go through.
Well,
Because you getting it on both sides. You gotta be there for the nurses, but then you also gotta be there for the administration side. And
well, it helps that my administration side is she's clinical. She was our clinical director prior to becoming the CEO, and we were like family before that, and she, the one thing that she loves so much too is the culture. And I'm just so grateful for having someone that understands that, and understands that, sure, corporations want to make money and that
Yeah.
sort of thing, but to have a corporation and to have a CEO that really promote that culture, want us to be a family oriented. We're from Southern Louisiana, you know what I mean? And for us, it's just we got to meet you where you are, and I went down the rabbit hole with, the brain and why people become addicted, and I think it's real important for people to understand that, there's a midbrain, and we're dopamine-driven human beings, whether you're an alcoholic or an addict or you're not. Everything is about that dopamine drive,
Yes.
and when you start getting into the realm of, chemical dependency, I mean, this disease wants you dead, but it'll settle for you really miserable, because that's when it can prey on you. And so, I think it's, there's, they talk in the program about an easier, softer way. And I think that when you first get into treatment, the last thing that you need to be thrown at is a bunch of responsibilities and rules and stuff. We just want to keep you safe. We want to respect that you're going to, be detoxing, not feeling well. And I think that fundamentally everybody across the clinical nursing world they're just on the same page, which is something that you don't always get.
And I'll tell you, just, from a personal experience, I visited treatment 5 times, and I learned very quickly that there was 2 groups of people that you never pissed off: the cafeteria and the nurses.
the nurses, that's it. You talking about getting medicine with extra estrogen in it, and then you end up with man boobs like this, man.
So how did you personally find your way into the addiction treatment field? Or we can start with nursing. How did you find your way into nursing?
Actually, I went to school originally for architecture.
Okay.
And then going into my 5th year, and very, very irresponsible young adult.
Hell yeah.
Just up and got married and moved to New Orleans, and and I really had gone through the catalog and said, I'm good at art. I'll do that. But it was not what I wanted to do. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. So I got married, we moved away, joined the military and that sort of thing. And then years later, after we decided to, part ways, and ultimately it took us forever to get a divorce. But ultimately getting a divorce, I realized that I wanted to go in healthcare. And I had a godfather that was a doctor that, like, still carried around a little kit and would go visit people. He was like the old time docs.
Hell yeah.
And I mean, everybody loved this man. And I said, you know what, I want to go into nursing. And I talked to him. He gave me my first stethoscope. And I think that just seeing him and truly have a heart and just be one of those just good old time docs. And so I went into nursing. Then once I graduated from nursing, I guess I was in the field for, I don't know, many years.
Did you go straight into addiction, or did you?
No.
Okay.
I did labor and delivery. I did med surge. I did step down. I did
What's step down?
telemetry. Like when you leave ICU, you go into like a step down.
Step down, duh.
It's
The
more.
chat asked. I knew that, but they just wanted to hear you say it.
Yeah. Right. And then I had my own struggles.
Okay.
2005 was, I was actually sober about 15, 16 months then. But I just had my own struggles reconciling with, some of those inner demons. And so, I stumbled into the program 21 years ago. And actually, I stumbled into it probably 24 years ago. And, you
started
checked
getting your
off
feet underneath you at 21 years ago.
Yeah.
Still stumbling for 3.
Yeah, I don't know. I ain't stumble. I crawled into these. At least you could stumble.
Right. And then in '01, in '04, sorry, I said, well, you know what? I'm miserable, and I'm going to just do what they tell me. And through many bumps in the road. I mean, it was not a perfect straight line, but I started to come alive. One of the things that I love so much about my job is, in the big book, if I can, Bill W. sitting in here drunk, waiting for Ebby Thatcher, who he used to drink with, right? And he's sitting there waiting for him. He's drunk as Cooter Brown, and Ebby Thatcher, he's like ready for his bud to come and drink, and the guy walks through the door, and there's not a word said. And he said, there he stood, fresh skinned and glowing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, look, I even get chills now. When you see that the darkness and the hollowness walk in, and before they leave, there's like this energy, it's this just life, and just, that is the most amazing thing for me to see. And I think that that's what keeps me loving this job so much.
And especially, in the nursing realm, like, you're seeing them at their worst, the worst of their worst.
Correct.
And I've always, me and Ronnie have both talked about it. Ronnie, I'll give a shameless plug to Ronnie. If y'all haven't watched his newest interview, y'all should go watch it.
Ascension 21, baby.
Ascension 21.
There's government council. Shout out y'all.
But me and Ronnie have talked about it so many times. It's like, and you'll probably relate, especially working in the field for so long. You see some bad stuff.
Yep.
And people are always like, how do you keep going? And what you described is those moments.
Yep.
Like watching people recreate their lives, watching, even if it's that 30-day mark, watching them walk out with their head held high, seeing the life back in their eyes.
Right.
that's the powerful thing that I love about, the recovery world and the industry and all the different things that even just, the rooms and, a lot of the community outreach that we try to do and all of it. It's like, I had somebody tell me one time that, in a person's crisis, you might be the nicest person. You might be the person that's being the nicest to them in their maybe in their life.
Right.
And that comes with a responsibility, and it comes with joy, and it comes with all the, love and hope that comes about from this, world. Okay, so 2004, you stumbling your way and getting your line. 2005, you made reference to 2005. So what?
So in 2005, it was a rough year for everybody.
Okay.
On June 28th, my daughter's father, my ex-husband, was killed in Afghanistan. He was a Navy SEAL. It was the worst loss of Navy SEALs ever in the history of Navy SEALs. We went for 3 weeks. We were running all over the country because there was all these different ceremonies. We couldn't even go, we'd go to Chili's and the faces would just keep coming across the screen. And,
And this is you and your daughter.
This is me and my daughter. And, I'm early on and I'm, trying to show up as a mom, but, it was hard. It was hard. And so we traveled all over and we finally start getting back to some form of reality, which it just seems so unreal. And then Katrina happens, and then we have 11 evacuees. It was the biggest struggle of my entire road of recovery, and I really feel like for 2 or 3 months that. When I said, when they come in with the darkness, I feel like the darkness kind of came over me, and I just had a lot of love and support in the fellowship and people that were just kind of holding me up because I could barely hold myself up, and one day I said, you know what, I'm really, really tired of being miserable, and I just threw myself into, I did the steps all over again, and I just really focused on service work and because all I was doing was poor pitiful me, pitiful me, and I just realized after that, that when you do the work, profound miracles happen internally.
I'm a testament to that.
And I experienced something. Correct.
What'd they say? Oh, I just want to see your biceps.
That's for another podcast.
Yeah, you're right.
And so I experienced something that, I always refer to it as bliss, and I didn't even know what that was prior, I was just so peaceful, and it was fairly quick, it was like, and I just threw myself into the program, and I just kind of gave myself away to it, and then I got a job at the detox unit as a floor nurse.
You're still in New Orleans, right, before Katrina happened?
No. I was in Lafayette, and we got 11 evacuees between my mom's house and my house.
Got you.
And just watching people lose everything and just not, they didn't even have clothes when they showed
Seeing
up.
those documentaries really kind of put it even more in perspective.
Yeah, because we just hit 20-year anniversary.
Yeah, the 20-year anniversary, and seeing that was heartbreaking.
My family was in Chalmette, and for days we didn't know where my brother-in-law or my nephew were because they stayed in Chalmette in the courthouse.
Man.
They commandeered boats. They were going rescue people, and so we couldn't get in touch with them. And so here, my daughter's really close to my nephew, and so, we are looking and just calling those phones, and even in Lafayette, you couldn't get any phone service.
Right, that's how it was down in Baton Rouge too. Yeah.
And, and here I am, like, my daughter just lost her father, and
That's what I was about
now
to ask. So you're
it's like a month and a half, 2 months later.
wow.
Right.
We were just sort of getting back to normal, and then, and then all of a sudden we had all these evacuees, which we were more, I mean, it's like our doors were open.
Right.
We just could not believe the gravity of the situation. And, early on in recovery, it's like, I think back on it now and I'm like, thank God that I was in recovery, because I don't know what would have happened if I wasn't during that time, because
Absolutely.
there was so many plausible excuses to
100%.
drink, to drug, to
Yep.
just escape from reality, and I was just really, really grateful to be there, because I had a true north. And sometimes that true north was just another human being say, you're going to be all right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get together. Let's go have coffee or whatever, because you're just lost, and you're like, how can this be happening? It felt so surreal, and but I realize now you can make it through anything.
Absolutely.
You can make it through anything, and if you reach out to the fellowship, they'll help you make it through anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so fundamentally, I was like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. I want to help people. I want to connect people to the spirit, because it's just to follow my path. It's like, because I'm not that powerful, I can only give you a testimony, and I can only, like, we can bring the horse to the water, but we can't
Make
them
'em drink.
Drink it. Yes, Lord.
But watching them drink and watching them explode into just life is just absolutely amazing. So I was lucky enough to go into detox. I was in a detox floor nurse from '05 until they shut detox down at UMC. And then I went over to another facility and was the director of nursing there. And then they reopened the detox facility back at UHC after they had the public-private partnership in Louisiana. And so after that, I went back and directed that for a while. And then I got into another leader position there, and then ultimately found my way back to my family.
Yeah.
Some of the people that I've worked with for years got a call one day and said, hey, we need a director of nursing. And I said, hey,
I'm on the way.
On the way.
I'm your guy or girl.
Oh, girl, whatever.
Yeah.
So you could build a hospital and run it. That's pretty cool.
The architecture thing.
Yeah.
Right, guy.
That's impressive.
Ironically enough, I've
That
done
is
the floor plan so I could redo all the fire.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
super impressive.
One of my favorite questions, especially because like we've had the absolute pleasure of having really like passionate and brilliant people like yourself sit in that chair and interview them, and it's always important to me to get this out, like, because I know that me and Ronnie talk about it all the time. I know that there's so much more brilliant people can do than to work in the treatment world.
Mm-hmm.
And so with all that potential and with all that care and with all that charisma that you've just displayed, what's your why for being in South Louisiana, focusing on what a lot of people cast aside over and over and over again?
Well, my why is for people to understand that it's a disease. There is biology behind it. This disease operates out of the midbrain, and when you're using continually and daily, the dopamine levels are so heightened, and dopamine equals electrical activity in the brain, which affects the evolution, if you will, of the frontal lobe, and the frontal lobe is reason. And, we come into the program and we just think we're, as they say, outright defectives. But there is biology behind it, and we just have to learn how to reason, because it's the evolution of that has been stunted. And that's why we do this, and for me, just thinking that I could never be good enough, successful enough, skinny enough, whatever. It's never enoughness that, and then to go from that and literally pivot 180 degrees and say, I'm fine just the way I was created, perfect.
Absolutely.
And to truly believe that I just felt like I just wanted so many people to find their perfection because everybody was created perfect. And, I always ask everybody to point at themselves, so point at yourselves.
Right here, not right here.
Correct. So the disease is here, but we live here. Our true north, our inner core is here, and we got to find that. Just get out of that.
You ever done work with Greg Greer?
No.
Oh, he always says that.
I know.
That's why.
Sounds like a female version of
I'm
Greg right
telling
now.
you.
Yeah.
So somewhere right now they have somebody in your medical professional field struggling with the balance between medical knowledge and personal experience. And so we know as a nurse, y'all take an oath, right? To the malpractice and all that. How do you find that balance to like make sure you're not crossing the two with your medical knowledge and personal experience?
Well, so nurses are a little more, it's a little less stringent as far as personal disclosure
Right.
compared to clinical. So for me, I can share. I don't go way deep into every nook and cranny of my story, but I feel like first of all, people in recovery know as soon as they start talking to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the lingo.
I was about to
and-
say that lingo. Once you say a couple words,
Yeah.
like, oh, you me.
Yeah, and they pick up on it. So I can disclose a little more. And like I said, I don't go way down the rabbit hole, but at the same time, because we also are a professionals program,
Absolutely.
we have vets, which, with, being an ex-Navy wife. My dad was a commander in the Navy before he was a dean at the school that I went to. So, veterans are close to my heart as well. And we are a VA CCN program. So to see, for those people to understand, like, you're going to be okay. And you still have your profession and you can still respect yourself as a professional. It's just, this is a time in your life. It's a very small time in your life, relatively speaking. Focus on what, if you don't put it first, you got to find that
True north.
that true north. You got to find that creator inside of you. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care what you believe in. As long as that power is not you, you're going to be okay.
Absolutely.
And I think that they need to know that. I think that they need to know that, one day I walked into this room and I just wanted to, make sure I had a roof over my head. I could take care of my child, and maybe one day I'd be employable. You know what I mean? And to know what I've experienced over the last many years. I'm so close to my daughter. I have 2 grandkids and one on the way in December. And to be able to show up with them 24/7 if they ever need me, and to just really experience, because I've shifted from a dopamine thinker, which I'm still a dopamine thinker. I mean, most of the people that have been to treatment know how much I love red velvet nothing bundt cakes.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
I love the.
We got you.
I love the confetti.
I was just going to say them confetti's got my soul right now.
God.
it's so good.
God.
And I'd get a little dopamine just driving in front of it,
Yeah.
and
Getting a little thinking about it right now.
but to
know.
really be able to look in the mirror and to know that, I'm a good mom,
Yeah.
and I'm a good jinx. That's what my grandkids call me. I'm a good jinx, and I'm a good spouse, and I'm a good friend, and that I earnestly want to help people. It's the most amazing thing, because once upon a time, I didn't think I was good enough to breathe the same air as other people.
Yeah, man, I've been there.
And to know that, if you just do these simple things, because it's not hard, it's just the commitment.
Absolutely. What do you think your experience adds to your profession?
So I really think that what it adds to my profession has been, I've been lucky enough to work in a field where, or in departments specifically where the doctors have just as much earnest desire to help alcoholics and drug addicts. But I've also experienced when they didn't really understand.
Absolutely.
And whether that be, a physician or fellow nurses, because there is some, unconscious bias
Absolutely.
that everyone has, and sometimes it's because of family members and the heartbreak that they've experienced with it, and they get a little jaded by it. I think that it's the experience that it's offered me is that even if they don't necessarily, agree with the fundamentals that it's a disease or whatever, it's ironic how many times they've reached out to me and said, "Hey, can you help me?
Yeah.
I have this family member or me personally or, what have you." And I think that people that, they see you end up being a walking big book, you know what I mean? Like you're respected for honesty, you're respected for, self-dignity, and then also that you're willing to help anyone.
Absolutely.
And I think that that's what it's offered for me is that even some of my own employees through the years, and listen, I have the best staff ever. I mean,
You keep
they
saying that too much, people gonna start poaching them now. You gotta be careful how much you promote your staff. I'm telling you now.
well, listen.
They
What,
could try.
They-
She
yeah.
said they could try.
Richard Branson once said, "Train them well enough that they can leave. Treat them well enough that they'll want to stay," and that's
I ain't gonna say what that sound like, but you know what that sound like. Nothing, I'll tell you off camera. It's just like, y'all. So I got a question. Well, the chat got a question. I was just checking the chat. They say, so what stigma has been hardest to break? The fact that the position of a nurse is a woman's job, or that addiction is a disease?
um
Good question, Ronnie.
The chat on today, bro.
That's you. You take credit for that one.
So I guess I just haven't experienced a whole lot as far as it being a woman's job. I think that nursing has really evolved. I mean, once upon a time, and you wore the white hats,
Yeah.
and I think that nursing collectively has evolved so much. There's so many men in the nursing field that I don't find near as much stigma with that now as, I mean, when I first started, because it was a long time ago when I first started nursing. It's almost 30 years that I've been a nurse, but even then there was male nurses. There was certain fields that,
Yeah.
I mean, male nurse probably shouldn't go into labor and delivery, but, so I don't really feel like that's been the stigma. I think that the stigma, honestly, is been the disease,
Absolutely.
the disease of addiction, and
It's just a moral choice.
yeah,
I hate that.
Okay.
and even in nursing, and hopefully this has evolved because I haven't been to school in 30 years either, but is that I don't think that we truly understood it as an addiction. Yes, we were taught that it was an addiction, but I don't think that we truly understood it on a biological level.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
I really feel like that needs to be, if it isn't, it needs to be more pronounced because there has been a lot of jadedness through the years because I have worked other fields and it's like,
Absolutely.
they're just, drug seeking or, and there was that unconscious or conscious bias, whatever the case will be. And for me, I think that that's probably the biggest stigma. It still is. There's been a couple of, publicized addiction overdoses or whatever recently, and you've had this whole myriad of opinions related to it and some condemnation of it and that sort of thing. And, it's so unfortunate because it's still like, how could they do that? And, this just judgment and just less. And then you wonder why they feel so poorly about
Absolutely.
themselves.
So I got two questions that pop in my mind, one personal and one professional. Personally, I've seen a lot of nursing and the nursing industry battle with substance abuse.
Sure.
And so, going back to that time frame in your life where, you're 14, 15 months sober, and I'm going to choose to say God. Hopefully it doesn't offend anybody. If it does, get over it.
They'll put you on their four-step.
Yeah. God threw a lot of tests at you during that period. And so as you're working in the nursing field and as you're progressing and getting into, getting your first job in the treatment world and being a floor nurse at a detox, and how did you, for people that may be going through that currently, new nurses and stuff like that, how did you deal with that temptation of being present and around it and the long shifts and the long hours and the grueling patients and all of that?
Well, I was lucky. I feel very lucky because I have been around the recovery world for so long that it's easier
Right.
when it's your daily monologue and dialogue and. So I felt like it was easier in a lot of ways, and I collectively think nursing has gotten more stressful than when I first started. I also feel like COVID did a number on nurses, and I really do, and I
Absolutely.
think that there's a lot more nurses out there that are suffering from alcoholism and addiction as a result of the stress. Everything ends up piling up on nurses, and I really feel it's so unfortunate because there isn't there isn't always an outlet because you don't want to go there, you don't want to go to the meetings because you're a nurse, and and I feel sorry, because you do take this professional oath, and imagine the inner turmoil and trying to reconcile with, no, I can't be this. I'm taking care of these people or whatever, and then to be around drugs, constantly having to pull them out of the Pyxis or the Omnicell and have them in your hand, and that sort of thing, and it's got to be a struggle. So I mean, I haven't, other than detox meds, which
Right.
I haven't been
They don't always
exposed.
they don't always have the most allure.
Yeah.
And then, second professional question. We've had a couple of different perspectives on here, and I always enjoy it. And I have the ability, and Ronnie has the ability to maintain open mindedness about this concept. As a medical professional, what is your outlook as a medical professional in recovery? What's your outlook on medically assisted treatment?
Dude, that's what I was about to ask. Great minds think
The
alike.
medically assisted treatment. Okay, so it's funny. So fundamentally I'm an abstinence based
Right.
minded person. I naltrexone. We use naltrexone. We use Vivitrol. I don't know if we can.
Yeah. I'm a Vivitrol survivor.
Okay, good,
Robert.
Yeah, I survived on Vivitrol.
good.
Oh.
I mean, and we definitely use mat therapy. That is, I mean, I think it's an assistive device.
Absolutely.
You still got to throw yourself into the fellowship. You got to throw yourself into recovery. You got to work the steps. You got to get a sponsor. You can't just do one, or it's not like you can the cafeteria and you just pick what you want. You gotta do it all.
Yeah.
So I firmly believe in that. But I also believe that there is, and we don't do any like Suboxone maintenance or anything like that. In the big book, in the back of the forward to the second edition, it says, and I still believe this statistic to be true, it says, of those who really tried,
Yeah.
50% got sober. Another 25% got sober after some time. And they go on to their percentages, and then a small percentage of those who hung on to AA, their lives got better. And I do believe there is a certain small percentage that hanging on to AA and using some form of, long-term maintenance therapy is saving their life.
Absolutely.
They may not be reaching the ceiling that they potentially could, but I'd rather see them keep breathing, coming into those rooms, and being helped, and than 6 feet under.
Absolutely. And that's, very similar to my mindset. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't speak for you.
Well, I give you permission.
So we believe, we've both been in recovery for a little while now. And, I've always said, like, to my core, I encourage and believe and will always promote complete and utterly entire abstinence. And like I said, I remained open-minded, and my mindset has shifted because, you asked me 5 years ago, if you're on mat, you're not sober. And my mindset has shifted, and I always credit this, a colleague of mine came and said, if you were to go ask a parent who's burying their child, would they have rather be burying their child or be on, Suboxone or whatever it may be?
Right.
100% of them are going to say
100%.
Yep.
And I like what you talked about, and we've had a couple of different perspectives on here, and they've all really focused around that same point: is that medically assisted treatment is not the end all be all solution. It can be a tool used to help. And my goal and talking with people and working with people is always like, okay, if this is a tool you're using, that's fine, but let's have a plan of action to become.
Yep.
And Ronnie's been a great testament of it, like utilizing naltrexone
Right.
6 months.
for 6 months, and I like how he says it. I'll let you say what it did for you.
Well, so it gave me that ability to focus, right, without the urges and the cravings, and so I was able to focus on the steps. I was able to meet with the sponsor and without having all that cloudiness in the back of my mind. And so before I did it, I made a plan with my doctor. It was like, hey, like what's the range of being on this?
Right.
I want to go here. I want to stay here.
Right.
And so within those 6 months, I was able to become dependent enough that I was able to transition off of it.
Yeah, it's just like a bridge
Yes, exactly.
to a destination. It's an assistive or an adjunct. We
Yep.
call it an adjunct therapy. I've seen some people rely and depend on it
Absolutely.
solely, and it's not going to do
That's
it.
when it's not effective to me, though, when you use it as a crutch.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you're going to always find a reason to stop doing that and just
Correct.
go get high if you're not doing nothing.
Correct.
And I like what you also made reference to, and we've once again talked about it at multiple points, is the responsibility of a compassionate and understanding prescriber collaborating with.
Well, and that's the other thing is, and so so many docs, I just don't feel like it's addressed correct.
Right.
In the school, I mean. So at UMC, when it was UMC, the family practice residents ran the detox unit, and any one of them will walk out of there saying that they learned more about addiction there. And I thought, what a wonderful thing for them, because they truly understand the disease. Not everybody or not every field of medicine has the same luxury of that. And, I really think it's important for them to, because then they can understand, okay, let's do, naltrexone and Vivitrol. And if they just, after a certain amount of time, it's just not working, and they're just, they're repeat offenders, if you will.
Yep.
Maybe we can do this other thing for them, because we want to keep them breathing. We want to keep them,
Absolutely.
maybe one day we can relook at that and go back to the Vivitrols and the naltrexones. And because, at the end of the day, like you said, abstinence is,
I really liked how you phrased it, where like, are they still breathing? Absolutely. Are they still productive? Absolutely. Are they reaching their full potential? Internally, me personally, I don't believe so, which is okay. It's okay. But, me and Ronnie have talked about it on our platform. Like, our goal is that, like, to shine light on those that have overcome, and to let people know that no matter what your circumstance is, whether you were a spoiled, entitled little brat who ventured into a world of drug abuse,
Who that is?
and faced, self-inflicted crisis, you can overcome it and become more than what you're supposed to be. Whether you are, Ronnie, who, athlete who experienced loss when he had, surgeries and stuff that he lost that identity and fell in, and then battled with the mental health and all of that. Whether it's your story of trying to find yourself and not feeling enough, is that my goal and my inspiration and my joy in doing this is that hopefully we can inspire one person to become that, to recognize that their past doesn't have to define them, that we're all, I say it all the time. I hadn't said it in a while, but my favorite poem is by Marianne Williamson, Our Deepest Fear. And, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate, it's that we are powerful beyond measure. Correct. It is our light that most frightens us, not our darkness. And I think so many times people, while living in that darkness, have become so accustomed and comfortable with a hell that they do know, that they fear letting that light shine.
Yeah.
So,
oh, absolutely.
Boy, you in your bag today. This is what I get to be with every day, Miss Julie. You know what I'm saying?
So before we get to Ronnie's least favorite time of the episode,
ignoring you.
Is there anything that you want to share about yourself, Victory, or just share to the listeners that may be struggling right now?
Just don't be afraid. I mean, don't be afraid to walk into the rooms, to pick up the phone and call a treatment facility. I mean, at Victory, our goals are to keep you safe and treat you with respect. Those are the 2 rules on the unit. Yeah. That's it. Everything else we can work through. Treat them with respect. Keep them safe. Absolutely. And if it's another facility, just knock on the door, pick up the phone, whatever it is, because you deserve a chance. You deserve a chance to live, and the people that love you deserve a chance to see you at your perfection, because we were all created perfect. We just lost our way, the worldly calamities, and in the big book it says we've been given the power to help others, and that right there is where that place intersects, where you just wake up and say, I'm not what I thought I was. I'm so much more. Absolutely. And that's why people told us don't set goals early in recovery, because you're going to limit yourself. And for me, like I told you, I just wanted a roof over my head. I just wanted to be employable, and now I've just been given so many gifts just beyond my imagination, and you can too. You can too.
Absolutely.
You just got to surrender.
Beautifully put.
It was a pleasure. And listen, if you're listening and you've got to meet Chris, now you got to meet Miss Julie. We got 2 more coming.
Got 2 more coming.
You don't have to wait for those episodes if you're battling. You can go visit Victory now.
Absolutely.
My Victory. What is it? MyVictoryRecovery.com?
My Victory Center. It's
My Victory Center.
It's linked in the description.
It's in the description.
Yes. My Victory Center.
MyVictoryCenter.com.
Ronnie, unfortunately, we've come to your least favorite time. I know you want to ignore me. But you can't. We have to let Miss Julie get back to work. We have to get back to work.
You're right. Thank you, Miss Julie, again from the bottom
Thank you.
Of
Y'all
our
were great.
heart for coming out here and doing this with us. We learned a lot. And it takes a special woman to get the attention of a Navy SEAL, too. I just want you to know that. I don't even think I ever seen one in real life. So kudos to you with everything that you do in this field, everything you do for people. Absolutely. We truly respect and adore your work. And, that, my people, if you or somebody is struggling with drug or alcohol abuse, mental health struggles, please, 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 please reach out to us. We're constantly bringing new resources in to help any and everybody, right? This place might not be for this person, but this place is. We want to make sure we are a bridge to getting you back to being your normal self. We love y'all. We see y'all. We appreciate y'all. The continued support. Continue to subscribe, like the videos, share the videos, comment on the videos. We love y'all with everything in us. Until then, we'll be back at the same time, at the same place, with the same producer. Built by the Red Stick, built by adversity, led by courage.
We love y'all.
Y'all thought we were playing? This shit was meant to destroy us. But through the adversity, we built courage. We built integrity. But most importantly, we found peace. Yo, different.